All right, guys, we have today our MRE CR500. This is an amazing bike and just a powerhouse. So I've owned this bike for a few years, and it's got a little bit of a story behind it. You'll find that CR500s come up for sale, aluminum frame ones. The issue is you don't know who built them. Was it some backyardigan who didn't know what he was doing? And a lot of them that I've seen are that way. The welds are horrible when they redo the frame, and the alignment, it's pretty crucial to get these things in there right, or else you're gonna get hurt. And a lot of people don't know what they're doing, let's face it. So I seen this bike advertised, and it said, Service Honda Canada CR500. So I messaged the guy. I said, what do you mean it's a Service Honda Canada? And he said, well, you know, it's basically it's an MRE built bike. And I went, okay. So that's Adam Millar, and that's Millar Race Engineering out west in Western Canada. And they're well known as like the CR500 guru. You know, him and AJ Wagner are kind of the gods of the CR500. Adam is really amazing at motors. The advertised pictures obviously didn't look like the way it looks now. And I actually went and reached out to MRE, gave him a phone call, said, hey, I got a guy here in Ontario trying to sell one of your bikes. Did you build it? And I sent him a bunch of pictures, and he said, let me get back to you.
This bike was built for a dude, a pilot, and he never rode the thing. I did the mounts and the cradle work to it, and then the head bracket stuff on the top. Vet rider here helped this guy finish it up. I'm just drawing a blank on what the guy's name is, the pilot that was building the bike. Might be it'll come to me. Anyway, this ended up being bought then by Kim Hood, and Hood's like one of the big racers that has always been on this stuff. He comes out trail riding and stuff with us too, but Kim ice raced this machine, and this is a bloody strong motor. That was a really good setup. There'd be nothing wrong with this one at all. And for the money, yeah, I'd say that's right in the ballpark, because that engine has a fair bit of, it's got my case porting work done to it, it's got the cylinder port work done to it, it's got decomp on it. I think it's got a Kian Air Striker with the stick metering block in it. That was one of the things he'd gotten from me right near the end of when he was going to get rid of that machine, but I think that's on there. But that is a good setup. That's a very strong bike.
You know, a little while later, I got a voicemail saying, yeah, hey, I know that bike. I figured out what bike it is. And basically, this bike used to belong to a guy, a pro racer out west named Kim. I can't remember the guy's last name off the top of my head. But anyway, he used to ice race this bike, and he's had a few CR500 AFs that Adam's built for him. And he goes through and explains the whole story about the bike. Used to be an ice racer, guy's a really good rider, and goes on to tell me that the motor on this bike is an amazing motor that he spent some really good time on, which made me happy. So he said it was real, so I went up and took a look at the bike. So our MRE CR500, it's got the Adam Millar MRE reed block that he makes himself. It's an amazing reed block. It's got an Air Striker carb. It's got the decomp head. And everybody knows how bad these CR500s are to start. Not bad, just hard. So the decomp head really does make a difference. I was really happy to see that. So when we first bought the bike, it had a FMF gnarly pipe. And it was a good pipe, nothing wrong with it. Worked really good. But we reached out to Huga and said, hey, you're the best at building pipes. I want one of your pipes. And they said, no problem, we'll get it built for you. Took a little bit for them to hand make it, but when it showed up, it's just an amazing pipe. And if you plan on doing one of these bikes, you gotta reach out to them and get one of these pipes. And we reached out to MP1 Suspension, well known in Canada as one of the best suspension. The guy's worked for multiple Supercross teams, worked for KTM, done a whole bunch of stuff, but the guy is amazing at suspensions. And he redid our suspension for us on our 500. Just did an amazing job. Now, when we were building this bike, what are we gonna cover it in? What are we gonna do? So we reached out to a company called New Image Design, and they're out west as well in Canada. This is basically a Canadian CR500. So we reached out to them and said, hey, we want something different. I got an 01 that I love that looks like the 95, you know, graphic style, but I don't want it to say 1-800 collect. Let's do 1-500 collect and kind of just let everybody know that this is a 500. Again, on all my personal bikes, guys, I've said this in the past, is I really like the Pro Taper levers. I'm not a super Pro Taper fan for bars. I've always liked the Rentals, but these like braking, anti-braking levers, they go every direction. You know, you never have to brake them. It's just amazing. And the 2-finger feel of these levers are just what you always want. So if they're expensive, but if you guys want really good levers, check these out. So this CR500 AF, it's actually a 2006 CRF450 frame with a 2001 CR motor. So just the last year that they made the motor, you know, it's just a great bike, tons of power. I don't think there's any question in anybody's mind if a 500 has enough power. But I'll be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays. Way back a year ago. So the biggest problem with owning a CR500 is learning how to start them. There is a whole rain dance you have to do to get these things running. I haven't started this one in a long time. It pretty much sits around. It's fun to ride, but it's a lot of work. It is the most tiring bike I've ever rode. But let's see if we can do the CR500 God dance and fire this thing up for you guys so you can hear how it sounds. Guys, get that fuel turned on. On ours, we're lucky. Push the decomp in. So we got our fuel on, chokes up, and our decomp's in. And what we're gonna wanna do, guys, we're gonna give her a couple shots of fuel. Everything's down through the carb. We're gonna actually lay the bike over a bit. Lean her over, let fuel start pouring out of the overflow. It's the only way I can run them. It's the only way I can get her started. I see it dripping out, so we're good. I'm gonna put this thing against the fence because I'm gonna have to jump on it to get her fired up. All right, we've got a boot on, but one thing, I don't know, it works for me. This is how I do it. So I'll hold the kill switch in and I'll pump it up a few times. You can hear the decompression going. Hopefully you guys can hear that. We're just cycling, holding the kill switch in, so no spark or nothing. We're just cycling fuel into the motor. We're gonna find top dead center. And then we're gonna kick her as hard as we can. Well guys, that's our CR500, you know, MRE, Adam Millar built the motor, amazing motor. You know, you can't ask for a better engine builder to build your engine. He is the motor god of CR500s. You look around on the internet, you'll find anybody who's building a real CR500 is getting him to do their motor. You know, they're also getting a Huga pipe because they're the best. They are the best for what they do. Now this bike's fully done. You know, there's nothing else we can do. We've got every single upgrade done to it. So the 1500 Collect CR500 is just a great bike. Let me know what you guys think. Like and subscribe on the videos. Leave a comment down below. Have you guys ever rode a CR500? Does anybody else know the hardship of learning how to start one? Because when you do the CR500 dance and you finally learn it, you become like another level of rider. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.